Hi garden friends, it's Gail, your pond plant girl. Let's make a lotus pond out of an old tire. Most of the materials used I just found around the property. You can get creative though and find old tires and tarps and plastic. You could post on Craigslist and try old mom and pop shops. There are lots of ways that you can get materials for free and cut down your costs on making a nice little garden for yourself. I should have put a hard plastic bottom underneath the soil, but I forgot. This is just thick garden soil. And oh my goodness, it's about a hand's width deep. That's the best way I can describe it, with about 3 inches of room for water at the top, and that's all you really need for water lotus. I chose these because they were nice and tall. These guys are about 2 feet tall, and this one has a nice thick new spear coming out, so it tells me it's in really good shape. Now don't worry, this will freak you out if your leaves look like that. These were the young leaves that were floating on the surface of the water. Don't pick them off, because if you pick them off you will kill your lotus plant almost like 95% of the time. I've got a new pup coming through. Lotuses reproduce by shooting off new pups is what I call them. You can call them whatever you like. And this is a nice one, very nice one. I'm going to gently peel away the plastic because I don't want to break the tuber. Now, technically I can cut it here because this is just the runner that goes from the main plant to the baby plant, and I can clip that there if I wanted. And what we're going to do is plant along the sides, because the lotus will grow in a circular motion like that. This is the new pup. I just took it out of the plastic. Lotus will dig through plastic. That's why I said I should have put a hard plastic liner at the bottom of this pool, and I didn't, so I'll probably end up having to do this all over again. Okay, I got both of my plants in, and what I decided to do, I didn't bury the lotus, I just smooshed it in to the top surface so it has plenty of growing room underneath for the roots to explore. Now, since it has a lot of ugly leaves that are old and spent, instead of cutting them off, which is a no-no, I'm just smushing them back into the soil, and that will make for some extra mulch, of course. Water is often a problem when growing young water lotus plants. I often hear that people will grow their water lotus, and then after they get about this size, the plants will die. It may not be dead plants. It just may be that you have some yucky leaves like I had that rotted away, and then the new big growth will come up. I've made that mistake many times. Water quality can be a problem with hard mineral well water. That's also a problem oftentimes in the state of Arizona. Not so much of a problem with city water that I know of, but you might want to test your water to see what kind of qualities it has if you have problems growing water lotus. When you put your water lotus plants in there, don't pack it out with a lot of plants. You will regret it because it'll choke out your little garden. I should have just put in one plant, especially since it had some pups. When young lotus plants are planted, they often don't stand upright. That's why I put just some wood stakes here. These are sticks to help the plants stand upright. When it's windy like today, your lotus leaves will fall over like this sometimes. And that's to be expected even with large lotus plants. So if you want to make it look better, just use some stakes and something soft like a piece of string or nylon to hold your water lotus leaves up nice and tall and upright. I couldn't wait. It's been several hours and the water level has not gone down, which is a very good sign. See how this one leaf is really droopy? I must have stressed out the plant. I don't think it's going to be a problem since it has some new little pups right here popping up. So I don't think I killed the plant. So there isn't any problems like this, what I did with stressing out your plants. I would recommend after you score your seeds just to go ahead and plant them in the container after they pop up a new little leaf, and then you won't have to risk stressing out your plants. Anytime you transplant, of course, you'll stress out plants a little bit. Say hello to my little friend. This is Gorilla Tape. It's tons better than duct tape and it keeps out a lot more moisture. I've used it on garden hoses. I've used it on my RV window that had big problems. And now I'm going to use it on my little water lotus pond. And it's fantastic. I highly recommend. Here's the finished pond. And of course, anytime you put in a new pond, it's going to look a little sparse until the plants fill out. I ran out of Gorilla Tape, but I think you can get the idea. My other idea was to plant it in the ground so you don't see this big hump. But I am renting, and so I don't really feel like digging holes. And a lot of us aren't able to dig holes depending on garden or, physical ability, things like that. So most of my gardens are, yes, above ground. And that's the way I've done it for many years. When you put in your above ground pool, I like to put potted plants around the edges. That helps to soften the look. Of course, I need a lot more potted plants, but I think you can get the idea here. My other thought for inside the pool here would be to take this floating fern out and put in really small floaters such as variegated water clover or frogbit, and then plant just a few creeping jenny, some creeping plants that'll start here and then flow over the edge, and that'll look real pretty and soften up the look of the tire so it looks more like a garden rather than a tire garden. I'd like to say hello to Sandy Hoofman of Michigan. Hi Sandy, I hope I said your name right. Sandy has inspired me quite a bit lately about growing water lotus from seed. She turned me on to purchasing water lotus seeds from Hobby Lobby. I think that was you, Sandy, right? Anyway, terrific lady. I'm glad that we're friends. I am Gail, your pond plant girl. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. Hey, you have a fantastic day and keep on being you. I'll see you next time. Oops. Ah, mosquitoes! Nah! Okay, this is fantastic. It's far better than duct tape. It keeps a lot more moisture.